Hey guys, what is up? It's P from PTV and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got something really awesome. I've got a Pyromancer build that I've been working on in secret off to the side without anybody knowing about it. Today's Pyromancer build is going to be based around the idea of melee damage, close range combat, and a buff debuff system based around the Akari set. I'm super excited to bring it to you. I haven't seen a whole lot of melee buff debuff builds. I know it's a mouthful, so maybe it's something new, maybe something a little more fun and still effective for you guys to try, man. Hey, if you guys enjoy this type of content, please make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. We are so close to being partnered on YouTube and then just seeing where it goes from there. I'm so excited that you guys have been showing support on the more recent Outriders videos, and I can't tell you thank you enough. That said, I want to jump right into the video and answer any questions that you guys might have. First things first, I'm going to go over the skills that we're using, okay? The entire build is based around Heat Wave, and it has to be because, again, as I mentioned before, it is based on the Akari set, which utilizes Heat Waves to buff and debuff your enemies, so that is a must. We have it on 6.7 second cooldown, which is phenomenal if you ask me. We use Overheat as... we're going to be dealing a little more closer melee damage and then close range damage with an SMG. So I use Overheat primarily as a healing option, as our skills leech is also super high with this build. We immediately get the skill, the health back from casting Overheat and damaging every single enemy in the vicinity. So that's mainly how I use it, but it also does a substantial amount of damage and can be used to kind of just like finish off ads or even elites that are under 30% damage. And Phaser Beam, with the additional anomaly damage that we get from the Akari set and the Heat Wave combination, Phaser Beam's just a good option to have when it comes down to, maybe you're doing some other your other skills are on cooldowns, or maybe you're having to reload. Phaser Beam just has the opportunity just to really knock some things on their backside. So let's move on over to the class tree and show you what we're working with. Now you'll notice we are primarily down the middle over the Firestorm section of the tree, but we're going to branch out just a little bit. What you're going to want to do is make sure that you're getting all of the Magma Golem nodes here, right? Everyone that looks like one of those little heartline beats. Okay, so we start off with that. Make sure that we go to warm up. We want those cooldowns. That's how we're getting them so low. 6.7 seconds for Heat Wave is no joke. So every time a cooldown one pops, we're going to make sure that we snag that up. We're also going to go down here to Wildfire, branch down for the additional cooldown reduction. Super important as well. We want to make sure Master the Armor's on there. We do like to have the benefit of an additional armor increase just because we are operating most of the time in a close range setting. Another Magma Golem, of course, and here's where we branch back down before coming back up again. We're going to get Extinction, which is super powerful, especially against the elites. Most Pyromancer builds I've noticed, except for the Volcanic build, which is coming soon on this channel, the Eruption build, excuse me. Most of them struggle with elites, especially in one-on-one situations. And so this one is really great for when those elites get down to a certain level of health. You're going to do even more damage against them. Coming down here, you want to increase that anomaly power. And then bang, this one's super duper important. Inferno bullets increases your firepower by 15% of your anomaly power. And you'll notice that we are snagging up all of the extra anomaly power that we could possibly get. And that's going to work in tandem with our ability to do close range damage with our weapon, because it's going to give our firepower a substantial boost. Let me slide over here over to the inventory, and you'll notice we have almost 150,000 firepower, and we're getting an additional 102k from all of the extras for our anomaly power, and that anomaly power is boosting that firepower by a pretty good margin. So back over to the class thing, we're going to work our way back over to the Firestorm tree. Again, we want weapon damage and anomaly power. That's awesome right there. Another Magma Golem, and then we're going to go up and down on these nice little perks here. Distant Flame, increase your anomaly power by 2.5% for each unlock Magma Golem class. We're unlocking 5, so I'll let you do the math. It's a little bit over 10%, which is pretty good. Drop down, we're going all guns blazing. Increase your weapon damage after any skill activation by 20%. And because our cooldowns are so low, I mean, for 7 seconds, you saw that Heat Wave has a 6.7 second cooldown. This is generally, 100% uptime, unless I just forget to cast something. But for the most part, that's going to stay 100% up. Increase our skill leech, helps with our survivability. Another Magma Golem. skill leech again. Then we're going to work our way up to anomalous lava. Activating ignite skills increases your armor again because we are a little bit more close range. We got to be able to take some hits, and that's going to help, especially with that 10-second cooldown. That will be up 100% of the time with our 6.7-second cooldown with heat wave. Super good. Sliding over, double skills leech 130%. This is kind of just another panic button. And as much as I would love to get another cooldown, we just didn't have it in the cards for us, but we have to go up and get enemies afflicted by burn receiving 15% more damage. And so more damage. That's the key. That's the key ingredient to making sure your expedition runs are happening as fast as humanly possible. Activating ignite skills is the last one, magma elemental. When we activate our ignite skills, we increase our armor piercing by 45% and our resistance piercing by 45%. And again, with that heat wave on such a low cooldown, man, that is just buttery biscuits. We love that. Coming over to the items that you're going to need, I'm going to start over with the gun. Now, mind you, the gun is not optimized. I do believe, I can't remember the name of it, something Fortress. It's got a mod on it that does an extra 40% damage as a minimum, and the RNG gods have not shined their light upon me, and I just cannot find that weapon for the life of me. So for now, I'm using an SMG called the Migraine. On the Migraine, I've got 2 mods, one a tier 3 and one a tier 2. Now, one of them is super duper important, and it's actually not the tier 3 mod. The tier 3 mod is bombs ahead, and every single time we get a killing shot, that's going to turn into an anomaly bomb with an additional 200,000 damage. That's obvious it's good for obvious reasons, excuse me. But the thing that I really want to focus here is on our tier 2 mod, Anomaly Enhancement. Now, we're going to receive a passive firepower boost equal to 30% of our anomaly power. We already have our firepower working off the anomaly power from the one skill. We're going to get a pretty sizable boost from that. As our anomaly power stands right now, it is at just under 150,000. So 30% of that, we're going to get an extra firepower boost. That's going to help every time we activate heat. I mean, that's just passive, but every single time we hit a whole bunch of enemies with heat wave, we're going to get an even more firepower boost. I'm going to show you guys here in a moment. Now, over to the armor. I did mention that this was an Akari set build, so we're going to need that bonus active. If you don't know what it is already, you are missing out, but I'll go over it for you for the newbies. The bonus set is every enemy damaged by heat wave grants 50% anomaly power for 10 seconds. Now, this is good for 2 reasons, right? Obviously, because the anomaly power helps us do lots of skill damage with heat wave, but every single time we get that anomaly power, that extra 50%, which I'm hearing stacks up to 10 times, but I've also heard rumors that's not true and that it stacks even past that. I don't really know. That's very difficult to test, but if we get 10 people with that, right, that's 500% extra anomaly power, which in turn boosts our firepower even more. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, I know what you're saying. You're hearing lots of firepower, and you're wondering how come we're not adding the volcanic rounds to it. And it's just because I don't want to. I'm tired of volcanic rounds. I could see somebody throwing on perpetual mobile to their weapon, throwing volcanic rounds on this, and just really having a time. And that might be a great idea. It's just kind of like a variance to this build. Feel free to do that if you'd like to. I just didn't really feel like it, if I'm being honest. So that's where we're moving on from. The rest of the Akari set. Here's some pieces. Here's some mods that you're going to need, and every single one of them are required except for one, which is another variance that I'm having fun with, and let's go over that now. Fire Tsunami is a tier 3 mod I've thrown on my helmet here. It increases the width of the firewall. Obviously, that's great because the wider the firewall, the more people you get, the more anomaly power you're going to enhance your stuff. That's an obvious one. You're going to have that. Tidal Wave, a tier 1 heat wave mod. We're going to be able to activate that one more time before it's cooled down, which we probably don't even need because the cooldown's super quick, but I like it. It deals damage the second time around that is already enhanced by the first time. So you can probably play around with that. You could do some different things, but I've chosen to get one more skill before the cooldown starts. Going down to the Army of the Akari, we're going to use Detonator on this, and that's going to decrease the cooldown of Overheat by 50%. Again, I just like to, that one's not necessary, but I like to have it active just to make sure that I always kind of have like a bailout button if I need a quick heal, which happens sometimes. That is a really good one. And I'm going to use, as my second mod on Armory of the Akari, I'm going to use the tier 2 mod Brawl. And here's why. This is going to boost my melee skill damage by 100%, okay? Now, if you're not unaware, your melee damage is directly tied to your anomaly power, right? The damage that it does is directly tied to the anomaly power. Now, as I cast Heat Wave, the more people I hit, the higher my anomaly power goes, which means the higher my melee damage goes. Now I'm going to stack 100% extra bit of that with the mod Brawl, and you're seeing if you do the sprinting melee attack, the AoE, you're going to do a substantial amount of damage to a decent, I think it's 5 meters, to about 5 meters out around you. It's got a fairly quick cooldown, and yeah, that's just really fun to use on ads and then watch them incinerate after the melee is done. There's a lot of fun. Definitely give that one a try if you're willing. Going down to the waistcloth of the Akari, we're going to go with what it comes with, which is Anomaly Echo, which grants us additional firepower and additional anomaly power on skill activation for 15 seconds. I mean, our cooldowns are so low, that's going to be 100% uptime, easy. Tier 3 mod. Now, this one is a must. You have to have this one. It's called Strength from Fire. It's a heat wave mod. Using the skill grants 8 seconds, 10% weapon damage bonus for each affected enemy. So essentially, it works just the way that the set bonus does. Every time it hits, the heat wave hits an enemy, we're going to get a 10% bonus to our firepower that stacks up to 10 times, and that's 100% extra weapon damage. I mean, that you can't tell me that's not good right there. That is going to just absolutely blast enemies. And I know we're lacking in the weapon front, but if you have the appropriate weapons for this type of build, you could do some pretty sick damage. I could see that working really, really well. I want to say, I do feel like the weapon mods that we have, aside from Anomaly Enhancement, that Tier 3 mod, Bombs Ahead, I feel like we could do much better than that. Again, this build is not optimized. I want to bring some more optimization videos around this build and just kind of give you updates as we continue to build it up. But as it stands right now, it is far from optimized, and we're looking forward to seeing how well this goes. Moving on to our gloves, we are looking at purple gloves, bullet kindling, right? We deal 20% more damage against enemies afflicted by burn, so essentially add an additional 20% more damage to those that are affected by heat wave in the beginning. And then emergency stance, which is a glitched tier 2 mod that allows us to have Golem up. As soon as it activates, it's actually up the entire expedition run. That is the glitch. You could always run a different defensive mod right here, but for now, emergency stance is all we need. Going down to the boots, you do not need these boots exactly. These just have the 3 attributes that you're going to want to look for: anomaly power, cooldown reduction, and skills life leech. The tier 3 mod could easily be swapped out for something different. Again, it is not optimized, but for now we are running the tier 3 ready for anything, which is 10% of crit damage dealt to elites is returned to you as health. Obviously, like I said, being up close and personal with most enemies, we want to have a little bit extra health, but I think we're good. This is kind of overkill if we're being honest. And then the tier 1 mod we've thrown on there is Burnt Out. Heat wave damaged enemies take 25% more damage for 8 seconds. So based on our heat wave, we've got lots and lots of buffs, lots and lots of debuffs to our enemies, and we're doing an astronomical amount of damage. Depending on what skill we want to use, I know we've spread it out a little bit between firepower and anomaly damage, but I mean, gosh, it's just so much more fun being able to like run around and Hulk smash things with the AoE melee damage. I know there are probably more effective builds out there for this type of stuff, but as it stands right now, I'm working with what I have, and I'm having a blast doing it. You're seeing the gameplay on the screen the entire video, so, I mean, if this is something that you're interested in, yes, please go ahead and try it, and if you can find different ways to optimize it, comment down in the comment section below what you've done to maybe enhance the melee damage. That's what I'm looking for. I know there's another melee mod that helps us reduce the cooldown of melee, but I haven't really had an issue with trying to just karate chop everything a whole bunch of times. I feel like the melee cooldown is pretty good as it stands, so I chose not to use that. So let me know, man. If you guys enjoyed the video, again, please make sure to like and subscribe. It helps out so much, and we are so close to our goal, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, right here on getting partnered with YouTube. It's going to be so much fun. I'm so happy that you guys have decided to support me up to this point. Thank you again. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, man. Peace.